Children, hope you all are doing good, and today I am going to explain you about the digestive system, steps of digestive system, what are the organs, how they help in the digestive system by secreting different juices and different about the different glands. So here you know children, that in this picture you can see this is our mouth cavity, and we all know that digestion starts into the mouth cavity. Okay, so digestion begins into our mouth. So from lower classes you all know. So children, in our mouth we have the three pairs of salivary glands that you can see here, parotid glands and ducts like tube like structure. I explained you earlier also. This here you can see orange one. Sublingual gland, which is present located under our tongue, and submandibular gland and duct, which is present in the our lower jaw. Okay, this is lower jaw. And parotid gland and duct, this is present near our ear. So children, these three glands, what they do, they have their ducts are connected with their ducts are connected, they have the ducts, and together they will secrete the saliva. Okay, so what is the function of these three glands which are located in different region of the mouth cavity? That they secrete the saliva. Okay, so in the first slide it is written parotid gland located just in front of the beneath of each ear. Okay, so you can see here submandibular gland, it is located lower jaw side here, and sublingual below the tongue. So you can see easily in this picture, that's why I have inserted this picture so that you will get the idea. Now, so understood, the saliva is secreted by these three pairs of salivary gland. You should know the name. Now children, these glands are having the ducts. So from these ducts or pipe like structure which is attached to each gland, it transports the saliva into the mouth. Okay, so from these ducts only, these glands, when they secrete the saliva, it passes and fills into our mouth cavity. So we all know that every time saliva is secreted into our mouth, continuously it is secreting. So it is written that smaller quantities of saliva keep secreting all the time. Okay, even though when we are sleeping, while we are eating, so it is increased, or whenever we are eating anything, the amount of this saliva increased. And whenever we all are familiar with this word, watering of the mouth. So watering of the mouth means automatically these secretion, whenever we see or heard about our favorite dish or favorite food, favorite dessert, automatically our mouth cavity fills with the saliva, increased amount of saliva. So that is called watering of the mouth. Okay, now how much saliva our mouth or these three pairs of glands secreted every day? So the answer is 1000 to 1500 ml every day, which can fill the 5-7 empty bottle. So you should know these amount. Now what is the composition of saliva? Saliva is a slightly acidic, the pH is 6.8, and it contains, what is the composition? It contains 99% of the water, salt, then mucus, and it contains a very special enzyme which is called salivary amylase, and which is also called as ptyalin. So here you can say P silent. Ptyalin is the enzyme. Ptyalin we can say, or we can say salivary amylase. So in the Zoom class I have explained you this enzyme, what it do, it convert starch into the glucose. And the main aim of our digestion is that only, that it convert the complex food material that we are taking, it make it into a simpler form. So this, in the mouth only, this salivary amylase is present in the saliva. It converts the starch, carbohydrate, which is also a carbohydrate, complex carbohydrate, starch into the simpler form, which is called glucose. Okay, and then our blood can absorb the glucose easily and provide it throughout our body. Okay, and we will get the energy from the glucose with the help of with the process of respiration. So you should know the salivary amylase is also called as ptyalin. Okay children, so this is all about the salivary amylase. You all know children that saliva, it mixes with our food and it helps in the digestion. Okay, so what are the functions? First one is it moisten our food. Okay, it is a liquid water, liquid fluid, so it moisture with our food, because the food we are eating, we are not taking only the liquid food, as you know, we are taking the solid also. So when it mix with the saliva or solid food, it will convert into wet form, moistured form. Okay, it lubricates the inner lining of the oral cavity, so it helps in the inner lining, and it moistures the surface of the skin, so that we can speak clearly and we can easily swallow our food, whatever we are eating, it can easily pass through it. Okay, so whenever our saliva mix with the food, it makes our food in the form of bolus. Okay, now wet, and we have the teeth also, that teeth, I told you we have the 4 types of teeth, that also helps in the cutting and chewing and grinding of the food. So when the food grind with the help of this our tongue, teeth and the saliva, what will happen? It form a bolus. So second one is moisture and lubricates food with, again helps in swallowing, because solid food it cannot pass through the food pipe. It acts as a solvent because it is a liquid, as I said, it contains 99% of water, so it can stimulate the taste bud of our tongue. So this it for stimulating the, or for activating the taste bud of the tongue, this saliva plays a very important role. Next is, as I said, fourth one, it form a, when the food particle stick together with the saliva, okay, it helps teeth and tongue and even our that salivary amylase converted into in the form of glucose, and it form a bolus. So that food, the food which after mixing saliva called as bolus. So remember this term, bolus. So this bolus only easily swallowed with the help of our esophagus, which is also called as food pipe. Digest starch, children, you know, the basic principle that you have learned in the lower classes are same. Here only you will get to know about the main enzymes, okay, and the complete in detail mechanism of digestion. Now it digests because it contains the amylase enzyme, salivary amylase or ptyalin enzyme. So it converts the starch into glucose and maltose. Maltose is also a simple sugar. So the complex get converted into simple sugar in the form of maltose or glucose. So here you can see this reaction. As you know, our rice we are eating, it contains a high amount of starch, and our body is unable to take our that blood is unable to absorb the starch. So it has to be digested. So starch, with the help of this enzymes which is present in the saliva, that's why it is written in the bracket saliva, converted into maltose. Okay, so disaccharide is a simple sugar form. Actually carbohydrates are different kinds: monosaccharide, disaccharide, oligosaccharide, polysaccharide, that you will learn in the higher classes. Okay, just remember, just complex converted into simple one. Now saliva is there all the time, it is present in our mouth, so it helps in the cleans our mouth, okay, our teeth, and it destroys the germs also. So it prevents, up to a certain level, it prevents us, it prevent our tooth decay also. Now it removes the dryness. So dryness in the mouth due to the less water, if saliva is continuously secreted in our mouth cavity, then we will not feel this thirst one, okay. But if there is less quantity of saliva is present during summers and all, then we are having urge to drink water, we feel thirsty, okay. Now saliva aids, and it also helps in our water balance in our body. So these all 7 are the functions of saliva, and you should remember at least 5, try to remember at least 5. Now what do you mean by swallowing and peristalsis? Peristalsis, I told you that in the lower classes also, that it is a wave like constriction movement of our food, because you know we have the food pipe, it is a pipe. So it shows this peristaltic movement, and with the help of this wave like movement only, or peristalsis movement only, our food goes into the stomach from the mouth cavity. So that I will explain you. So in swallowing, our tongue is also plays a very important role. How? Because you know, our tongue presses, it is free from the front side, so it presses upward and backward against the root. So we have the palate, root palate, and it forces the bolus. So bolus is a ball of, you can see, what is bolus? Bolus is a chewed food ball. So you should remember, you can underline this line, that what is bolus? Bolus is a ball of chewed food. So this bolus easily pass, or this tongue pushed the this bolus into our food pipe, esophagus. So here I am showing you few diagrams. As you can see here, false palate is there. So in our we have this larynx, which is this, these are the small important terms you should know. Larynx is voice box, which is present here. So whenever we speak, we can feel the movement also. So this, through this voice box only, we can produce sound. So voice box produce a sound, and we are able to speak. In our body, we have the two pipes. One is this trachea, which is called windpipe, and the another one is esophagus. Esophagus is also called as food pipe. So these two food pipe, they have the different functions, and they are separated from each other. Okay, but their first opening is this epiglottis and glottis. So glottis is a epiglottis and glottis. This epiglottis, you can see here, it is a flap like structure, like a lid like structure. Okay, so whenever we eat anything and whenever we swallow our food, what will happen? This epiglottis closed. Okay, this epiglottis closes and it blocks the windpipe, so that food will not enter into the windpipe. Okay, it will go into the correct way into the esophagus only. Okay, otherwise what will happen? It will choke, it can choke the windpipe, and we will not be able to breathe. So like this only, this epiglottis, whenever we eating it, epiglottis closes its flap. Okay, so here you can see first picture, epiglottis they are showing, and food can go if it will be open. But in the this, you can say this glottis is closed. Okay, epiglottis present the glottis. So here it is open in the A diagram, and in this epiglottis and glottis it is closed, so that food will go into the esophagus only, not in the windpipe. So this is the role of glottis, that it prevents the food, so that it will not enter into the windpipe. Okay, and it will directly go into the esophagus, food pipe, and into the stomach. In the C picture, you can see they are showing, this is the food pipe sections both. So here wave like constriction, you know, wave like zigzag constriction, that is a wave. So the wave like movement of constrictions and relaxation, this bolus move from our mouth cavity into the stomach. So these three in diagrams are important. Now, as you can see, I told you the larynx. What is larynx? Larynx is the voice box. Where it is situated? It is situated in here below this, or the starting point of our food pipe. So it is located at the entrance of the, entrance means just starting point of the esophagus, and it, what is the role of it? It is closed at the back of the tongue, where this flap, I told you flap like epiglottis is present. So this epiglottis and glottis, there are two flaps are present there near our this area. So whenever we swallow food, it closes, so that we can swallow directly into the esophagus. Okay, food pipe. So once the food reaches into the esophagus, it pass with the help of this peristaltic movement into the stomach. Okay, so what is peristalsis? Peristalsis is the, you can underline this line, that peristalsis is the wave of constriction caused by the circular muscles of the gut pushing the food along. So like this, slowly the bolus, because our food is in the form of ball, chewed food. Okay, now which is having the enzymes and all. So it is now going downwards. Okay, you can see the arrow mark also. Now mucus secreted by all the region is slimy fluid. Mucus is also secreted by our glands, these three pairs of gland, which lubricates the food. So due to that lubrication, without any hindrance they can or disturbance, they can easily pass, our food can easily pass into the stomach. So now what is esophagus? I told you esophagus is a tube. So its main role is to conduct the food, to take the bolus and transport it. So it helps in the transportation of bolus from mouth cavity into the stomach. So it do not have any digestive enzyme. Only the function of esophagus is to transport the food. Okay, so it helps in the conducting the food from the throat, or you can say from the mouth cavity to the stomach. Now stomachs. As we know, what is stomach? Stomach is also a muscular bag, and it has a thick wall. Its muscular walls are highly muscular, and what it do, it the wall of the stomach also secrete gastric juices. So here it is written gastric juices, which also contains different types of enzymes. So these enzymes also further break down the food or helps in the digestion. Digestion means it converts complex proteins into the simpler proteins, peptides and amino acids such. Now there is a fact that in an average adult adult can hold 2 to 3 liters of food. Why they are saying liters? Because our food is in the form of now semi-solid or liquid one. Okay, it becomes with this juices, gastric juices and all, it becomes that liquid form. Okay, so the opening of the stomach into the intestine is called pyrolus. Pyrolus is the opening. Okay, so the last end or part of the stomach which attached to the small intestine, that is called pyrolus. Okay, so pyrolus is like a gate, you can say. In Greek word pylon means gate and pyrolus means gatekeeper. So that pyrolus membrane is the gate. It is the connecting membrane of the stomach and small intestine. Okay, so it has a ring of muscles which is called sphincter. So it is a ring of the muscle which opening close like a valve. Like we have the knob like structure. Whenever we tab knob, whenever we open the tab, water come out. The same way it is a valve like structure, and it prevent the food passing from the stomach. Okay, so it basically prevent the regurgitation from the duodenum. So so that what is the use of these valves into the stomach and small intestine? So that from the small intestine food will not backflow into the stomach. Okay, so these are the functions of the valve or this splinter. Now regurgitation is that only that food will not backflow. So that this process is called regurgitation. So a similar splinter or valve is present, that is the name is cardiac splinter, is also present in the stomach also. So this cardiac splinter or valve is present in the stomach. So from the stomach food will not go back into our food pipe. Okay, so because food pipe is just transporting the bolus into the stomach. So from the backflow it is preventing. So you should remember this pyrolus. It is a connecting membrane, splinter, and this cardiac splinter which is present in the stomach, and this splinter present in the small intestine. Now we all know, we all experience the vomiting. We all know what is vomiting. Through the vomiting all the contents backflow. So how it backflow through our mouth? That sometimes when the stomach is upset or overloaded, okay, as you know, it can hold only 2-3 liters, but if we will do the overeating and all, if we will eat any other spoiled food, so it can cause due to the sometimes the food poisoning and all. What will happen? this vomiting can come. Okay, we experience the vomiting. Now in that case, what happens, this cardiac splinter opens, and what it do, from the stomach, when this cardiac splinter open from the stomach, all the food content comes again or reverse back into the food pipe. So here it is written that vomiting occurs in which cardiac splinter opens and reverse wave of muscular. So that in that case, when the this process, when our food content from the when our stomach is upset and all, so our food contents brings back the food like in the form of wave like constriction, that is called antiperistalsis. Okay, so this is just opposite peristaltic movement. Okay, it is called antiperistalsis. So it cause this antiperistal, which is also a wave like constriction, it cause throwing the content out from the mouth. So that this process called vomiting. Okay, in which this cardiac, remember this cardiac splinter open up and it reverse back the food from stomach into our, through our mouth, outside environment. Okay, so just remember today about the 3 pair of salivary glands which secrete the saliva, mucus also, and the food pipe and the stomach. In the next video I will explain you about the small intestine, large intestine, and further different parts of the different functions and major steps of the digestive system. Thank you children, and God bless you beta.